Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for being here. Good afternoon to everybody who has just joined us either through WebEx or through live at ASSOC Facebook. Thank you for being here in this afternoon session of ResearchIN. ResearchIN is our monthly session inviting researchers, scholars from arts and design related field to present or do a little bit of sharing of their own work online, online live stream here on ASSOC Facebook. Okay, so we are happy here today. We have with us this afternoon Associate Professor Dr. NORFADILAH KAMARUDDIN from School of Art, Faculty of Art and Design, UiTM. And today's session will be moderated by Dr. Nurul Hanim Romainoor, the head of Department of Graphic Communication section at School of the Arts. She will also be, if she loses her line or things happens in a way, other department members are also here to co-moderate. So we have Dr. Jeannie and also Dr. Zuriawati online with us today as well. Okay. So without further ado, I would like to pass this baton to Dr. Nurul Hanim Romainoor to make the proper introduction through our for our panelists or presenter for this afternoon session, Associate Professor Dr. NORFADILAH KAMARUDDIN. Okay, dipersilakan.
Okay, thank you, PM Dr. Sarina. So for today, I'd like to welcome our presenter, Professor Fadilah from UiTM, with her topic, Interface Design, Performing in a Visual Communication Grassland. So without wasting any time, I'd like to invite Professor Fadilah to share her slide and can continue from there with this session in ResearchIN for today.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Okay, let me share my slide before we begin. Okay, so I hope everybody can see my slide. So if someone can respond me, so
yes, I think the rest
this is
they can do it.
Yes, this is our new norm. Sharing online.
Yes.
We always need to ask the audience to give you a feedback. Otherwise, you will shock sendirilah. Kita tak tahu what we're going to happen in the other sides of the world. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to everyone. For those in this WebEx or for those who are watching through FB Live. As per request by Dr. Hanim, been contacting me last month, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry for delay, or I'm giving a late reply, the request. I try my best to squeeze my time to share about my research, particularly. And also, I love to share, especially what I did in research with students. When I asked Dr. Hanim who going to be a participant, and she told me that the masters and the PhD students at USM, and the program or this session, we're going to be live on FB streaming. So this is what we call research. It's all about. It's about sharing what we have. Otherwise, it's just we keep all those the knowledge and the new finding that we found from our research just for ourselves. So this is that's not a good practice in research. Okay, as per stated in the poster, the lovely poster, my topic today is about interface design, performing visual communication grassland. So it sounds like be interesting to some other people who be very good background, similar to me, where my passion is more on interface design, even though during my bachelor degree, I'm graduated in graphic design. So when we talk about graphic design, of course, it's closely related to the visual communication. So before I start, just to get everybody and also to know about me more, I can say if someone can respond me, what commonly you think when you wake up every morning, particularly when you going to go to office or attending some events, what is the first thing that cross your mind? So everyone, anyone that can respond, maybe Dr. Hanim or any other.
Can I respond?
Yes. What
Yeah,
is
and
the
then
first thing that cross your mind when you wake up? You have, let's put this way, you have one event to participate or to attending on that day. So what is the first thing across your mind when you wake up early in the morning on the day of the event?
For me in particular, if I have to do a presentation for the event, then the first thing I will think about is my slide or my opening is ready.
So that's common, right? That's common. We always talk about we have to be ready. We have to be presentable. We have to be look good on the screen, like this situation. So we try to be our best, or we try to portray ourselves in a good manners, in a good looks. So this is that I intend to grab all participants today to look more detail on the look and feel. To me, and I believe, the philosophy of look and feel is very important. Everybody, it doesn't matter what background you are come from, everybody have to make sure you be look good in front of people. We are not referring to what kind of material that we use on our clothes. We are not referring to what brand of scarf or makeup that you use, but how your look in front of people. So that's motivate me to study more on what I love to do right now. It's begin from how I always talk to myself. I have to be presentable. I have to be look nice in front of people. When I meet people, I have to ensure I look good in front of people. So that's the thing that I always talk to myself, and I always try to translate that into my appearance. So every week, this is not maybe not work on others people, but it's work on me. I, in a proper way, we plan what clothes that I'm going to wear in the next following week. For example, I set a theme of my clothes. Next week, I'm going to wear all clothes in red color or in yellow color. So this is what I try to tell people, why look and feel is very important. So I hope this ice breaking will open everybody's minds watching me now to think about what makes you different in front of people. Some people have a good communication skill. Some people have a good appearance. Some people have a good smile. Some people, so everybody have our strength. So take your strength and portray throughout the activity in your daily life. So by that, I can say you can easily understand what is interface design, particularly from the perspective of look and feel. So I hope this introduction will give you a momentum to know me particularly more, and also what is all about the research that I conducted with my students, with my colleagues, my fellow friends here in UiTM. So this is me. Originally, this is me. I is a affiliates a member of a Chartered Societies of Designer in UK. So Alhamdulillah, in Malaysia, if you can look for the members of Chartered Society, only 3% in Malaysia awarded this affiliation of the Chartered Designers. So I begin my academic career when I secure my scholarship back in 2008, where I fly from Kuala Lumpur, my beloved country, on 15 July 2008 to where the university that awarded PhD, Queensland University of Technology, located in Brisbane, particularly in the Queensland state in Australia. So I completely graduated my PhD in 2011. So you can see my beloved supervisor during my convocation back in Australia. So I started joining UiTM on 7th of March 2012 with the Faculty of Art in Design. So from that, I understand the requirement of research across the academic profession, because previously I'm not as an academician. So this is originally where I start into interface design. So when I did my PhD, I originally, as others people, I'm not very clear what is the real field that I should look or I should take as a field of study to graduate as a PhD holder. So I went to Australia with one intention, that I love something that look nice, that can bring you emotion. So when I talked to my supervisor, she definitely told me that there might be interface design is your interest. So it sparked me to look more detail on the interface design, because previously when I worked in industry, as a designer, I work closely with programmers, I work closely with instructional designers. I'm not really understand what is interface at that time. So being in Australia, working with others international people, because in my university, I've been work with a group of researchers where we are putting under my supervisor, who are the um, the leader of the Interface Design and Interaction Design Institute. So there is the place that I learn about interface more. So what is interface actually? So I start to understand interface when I attended one conference that organized by my institute. So many of the researchers share about the interface design from different angles, from different perspectives. So from that, it's bring me many ideas to understand more about interface design. So in a simple word, from my understanding, interface design is a front end of the product. So this is common understanding towards interface that I believe many people will say or will give the definition of interface design when we ask what is interface design, because interface design originally been so familiar or famous in the area of human-computer interaction, where under the umbrella of information technology. Therefore, if you look into detail, interface design actually is referring more to the look and feel. So from this background is bring me to many countries, because previously when I study interface design, most of the people conducting research come from IT field or information, computer information. So when I be into their group, I discover they are lacking of research in towards interface design, but looking from the perspective of aesthetic value. So when I did more reading on that particular area of study, so I begin to understand more on interface design from various views, covered from science, technology, and also arts. So this is that what I want to share with all those participants today, why interface design is very important to look into from the perspective of aesthetic, because originally in art and design, we do have visual communication. So we have to go into the root basic of the field. So why visual communication is needed in the study of design? So as we understand, when we talk about visual communication, we are referring to the way of communication that people get through various medium, such as, of course, when we talk nowadays, we have interactive media, printed media, and also new media. So, but the challenge that common faced by the people in the area of visual com is about the impactful, the content that we try to deliver through the visual item. So this is that what I listed, the more or the most common three challenges. The first one is about limited attention. It's come from our audience. As a designers, we always design something that can fulfill our audience needs or our audience requirement. But most of the visual communication work is failure to grab the attention of the audience. Why? Because some of the designers in visual communication fail to understand what is the content of the visual com products, particularly in presenting the content through look and feel. And the second challenge is about challenges with memory.
Can you give some example, Prof.
Okay.
Fadilah?
If I can share an example, commonly when we design a poster, we as a designers who've been trained from the art school or the design school, we are preparing ourselves with principle and element. But most of these designers in visual form are failure to understand the principle and the element. So that failure will affecting your design process. When you fail to understand these two basic things, so the design process is a process. It's a process where you have to complete every single step of the process. Look back into the fundamental. So when you go more detail on the principle and the element, you can define all the principle and the element are referring to how the end product it should look and the audience get the feeling. So this is very philosophical actually and hard to understand for the beginner. But believe me, if you really understand the principle and the element, then you will get clearly on what you are doing. You are preparing what? You are preparing for who? So like we can reflect back to the previous thing that we did just now. When we're preparing for the presentation, we have to make sure our audience understand what we going to talk, what we're going to present. So the first thing, we have to grab the attention. How to grab the attention? You yourself as the presentation has to be a presentable, have to be to show a very big smile to the participant. If you show the ugly face or bad face, so how can your audience can get the feeling of you or try to enjoy the presentation of you? So this is the common failure or the common challenge that designers from the area of visual form always face when they are designing their visual form product. And let's move into the second challenge is about challenges with memory. So it's been established that most of the people here in the world most prefer to read visual rather than text. That's been established by most of the researchers in the area of psychologists and also in arts. But in terms of visual communication studies, the big challenge when in regards to the memory is about when you're presenting something through visual, how to ensure the audience or your receiver really understand or get the content and keep into their memories longer. So that's the big challenge. Make them stay in at one stage for longer than others design product work through visual form element. So this is another big challenge as well. And if you compare to the first challenge with limited attention just now, so this is have correlation between each other. If we are failure to grab the attention, how can we ensure all those memories sustain in our audience brains or audience understand on the contents of our product? So with these two challenges, it bring you move into the failure of the audience to understand message. So here you can see interconnecting between challenge number 1 with challenge number 2 towards challenge number 3. So this is the 3 common challenge that all visual communication designers have to focus and understand more in the process of preparing the works of visual communication. Because this is the fundamental. Because if we go back into the definition of visual com, it's a way of communication that people have to get through. So the key word is about people have to get through the visual. So we as a designers in the area of visual com have a very what I can say a very important role to make sure that we really understand what is visual is all about. Then we can apply it simply into any other's field of work across art and design. This is the visual that I prepared when I talk about what is the visual communication grassland. If you still remember, I stated in my title of this sharing session today. So as we understand, visual com also is a good combination of text, picture, photograph, sign, symbol. There are so many things or so many terms that we have to understand towards visual com. So this is hard to understand as well for the beginner, but don't worry. As I said, you have to understand the principle and element clearly. Then it will help you to understand what is visual com in a holistic view. So when we look into this diagram, so I can simply summarize that when we talk about visual communication, it's referring to 2 things, photography and graphic design. So that's why when we go to most of the art school in this world, in terms of visual com, some of the university they will offer these 2 field of study, photography and a graphic design. Or some of the school in art school, they will offer both. So because visual com is a combination of text, picture, symbol, signs, photography. So it doesn't matter you are in the area of photography or you are in area of graphic design. So all of you is under the umbrella of visual com. So where is interface design come across? So for those who are in the area of visual com, there are so many books for you to read in order to understand the philosophy of visual com and also to understand the layers of content of visual communication. This is what I did before I begin to study more detail on interface design, where I have to go to the root of the area of visual com. So when it brings me to the real grassland of the visual com, I understand more on many area of study that potentially for you to look into when you in the area of visual comm. So I hope this diagram will open your view or your mind broader towards visual comm grassland. In this, if you are referring to this diagram, we can see there are three elements that can support clearly to the visual comm grassland. The first one we call interaction design, the second one we call information design, and the third one we call interface design. So you can see here, most of the designers in the area of visual comm will bring all those products that they design across visual comm towards experience or our participant experience or our audience experience. So this is that we can see in many publications or in many research that conducted towards visual comm. So open broadly, there are three things that you can explore more, which is from the perspective of interaction design, or you can look more detailed from the perspective of information design, or in my case, I look more detailed from the interface design. So this is the basic philosophy that I understand towards the first year I did my PhD. So if give all those things, give me a broader understanding towards visual comm grassland. So when I more focus closely into interface design, I have to understand others areas such as information design and interaction design as well, because all those three things or these three elements is supporting to visual communication grassland. But here in the millennial era, most of the researchers are interested more towards mediums, or in as easy words we call it channel, because the technology come across all those elements that can support research towards photography or graphic design activities under the umbrella of visual comm. So now when I look more detail on interface design, so I start to understand why I should study on interface design. So this is the simple diagram that I can share with all the participants about interface design that I can explain in a simple definition. Perhaps it will help you to understand more on interface design. So if you are referring to the first row on the top of the diagram, interface design in the basic understanding is referring to the arrangement of graphical element that to ensure to facilitate user interaction with functionality. This is come from IT field. It's not come from aesthetic, because interface design research historically begin in the area of IT. So it's we from art and design, we have to take that understanding but bring into aesthetic perspective. So when we look more detail on the arrangement of graphic element with the objective to facilitate the user interaction with functionality, so there is where navigation design come across. So you can see from interface design, it when there are so many research done in the area of interface design conducted by IT people, so it come across them another field of study we call navigation design. So navigation design is referring to the the functionality of interface that can facilitate more how user interact with the appearance of the screens through information architecture. So all those terms that we can see here is actually interconnecting each other. So we can see in the area of information design why we have to understand as well as a visual communication designers or researcher, because in information design is referring all those research towards graphic composition or graphic structure, such as related to layouts or how you learn about grid composition for those who come from graphic design. So that all those information be structured in one layout with the same objective to facilitate user understanding. So we can see here functionality of interface design work together with navigation design, support with information design, then it will bring you towards interaction design, and of course with information architecture. So information architecture is more on IT, not from the area of art and design. So this diagram is not complete yet. I'm still working on this diagram to complete it in a better way to present. But I hope this will give you an overview on why I choose interface design as my research interest. Okay, so when we look detail on interface design, there are 4 types of interface design: presentation interface, conversation interface, navigation interface, explanation interface. So we mungkin
Banyak juga.
yes, I can share with you another slot with types of interface design.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Ada banyak. Yeah.
These 4 types of interface design is supported software design, web design, industrial design, with so many. So for those who are interested in interface design, what I can recommend you, you can find these 4 types of interface design, then look detail on each type of that, and I believe you will be find something interesting to look more detailed and to study more these types of interface design. Okay, so that's the previous of my historically how I be involved in the interface design. So when I understand the philosophy of interface design under the root of visual communication GRASSLAND, that's bring me into my PhD study, where I study just on principle, element, and characteristic. It sounds very easy, right? Because when I speak to my colleague in my institution or my research center, most of them are telling me that only 3 things you study: principle, element, characteristic. And it gave me to think twice. So I repeatedly asked my supervisor either this is the right thing that I do, because I'm worried I'm not be able to complete the requirement of PhD. So my supervisor asked me about what is the rule of any design work or any design area. So it brings me back to what I read in the area of art and design, particularly. Most of people, for those who are coming into art and design, we begin our journey by introducing on principle, element, and understand the philosophy of our area. So that's give me a good sign to study the principle, element, and characteristic of element of interface design only. So Alhamdulillah, if I'm secured Australian ASEAN research grant for the whole my study, where I presented the proposal to the Australian government for the research pitching, and yes, it the amount, just to share with you, in Australian dollar, 80k Australian dollar. Kalau convert Malaysia ringgit tu kaya juga But the requirement the requirement of the Australian government is just for travelling and publication. I tak boleh beli apa-apa barang. Travelling, and it's bring me to United States, to Greece, to UK, to NZ. Yes, 4 country. So jalan lah ada duit banyak. So when I come back to Malaysia and join UiTM, so this is how my research begin in the area of interface design. So I extended my interest. So by finding some of the students who had similar interest with me, so some of them secured most of them is secured a research grant. I can see this is a few that I can share with you, but I originally focused on courseware or focusing on education. So study more detail on interface design, but from the perspective of education. So because I begin with that. So that's my knowledge during that time. So I supervise PhD students toward that knowledge on the area of interface design. So you can see from the title that I share with you, all of that is on interactive courseware, interactive product in education. So after 7 or 8 years, I in the area of interface design from the perspective of education. Then I move one step further, looking from the area of museum studies. What inspired me to move forward to the museum study? I love travel, and when I understand interface design from the perspective of look and feel, it brings me to many countries. So when I visited any countries, I make sure myself to visit their museum. So be in the museum is bring me many ideas, new ideas in the area of interface design, particularly when looking from the visitor's experience, and also how as a visitors I understand the content that being displayed across the exhibition in the museum. So I apply for sabbatical leave from UiTM and went for my sabbatical, do my research on interface design role as a modern survivor, because currently we are talking about IR4, artificial intelligence, and so many technology that's sparked me something that I have to look into this kind of technology more detail if I need to explore more in interface design. So I spent 1 year with Jabatan Museum Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and this research also secured grant from Ministry of Culture and Heritage for 1 year. So I enjoy doing something new for me, been with all those curators at the museum, looking from the perspective curators and also the visitors come in to the museum, doing something that my passion, which is interface design, but exploring a new area of study. So this is that I did for the past 7 years from the perspective of education, and currently from the perspective of museum study. That really gave me a new experience actually. So here I can share with you some of my interface design research, a simulation of that, because as I explained previously, there are 4 types of interface design: presentation, conversation, navigation, explanation. So for these 4 types, actually, you can explore more. Like in my case, when I did my PhD, I just focusing on conversation. One types of interface design, conversation. That's why I'm studying on principle, element, and characteristic of interface design within the courseware, interactive courseware that been using by the students at Smart School during that time, 10 years ago. So how the interface converse with the students as a learning material and converse with teachers as a teaching material. So the role is different. So when we look into the presentation, so now when I did my study from the perspective of museum study, I look in the role of presentation interface design. So hopefully in future, I will go into navigation and explanation. There are so many types of interface.
Yes.
So this is my first simulation, my research based on education. This is I can say share with you. So far, I got 5 here example on interface design study on education. So the first one, study on interface design, development of interactive courseware. This is my PhD study, the principle, the element, and characteristic. So with this finding of study, I explore more, I expand the research, share with my students, PhD students, master student. So one of my PhD student graduated with interface design, will just study on the interface design as well, but looking from the teaching material for tertiary education. The interesting about this research, where the student look from the non-creative course, the non-creative people, how non-creative people understand interface design. We from the creative field, we've been to the school of art and design, we've been to the school of design, we learn principle, we learn element. We should understand the principle, and of course, we should familiar with the element. So easily for us to design the teaching material, to design the presentation material. How about non-creative people? How they design their material for presentation? How they design the material for their teaching material? How can they ensure their students, their audience understand the content through the appearance of their presentation? That's the beauty of the study. And the third one is about when we talk about interaction design or information design or interface design, most of the people in the area of computer information will using heuristic evaluation to evaluate the quality of interface design. So these students are using heuristic evaluation, evaluating the interface design on augmented reality courseware, but looking from the application for deaf student. This is also interesting, where we have to measure, because the one that preparing the courseware is a normal person. So how they understand the interface design role of performing towards visual communication roles to ensure the deaf student understand the material. The fourth one is the framework, interface design framework, or the development process of the courseware, but this not the courseware, the e-portfolio. Looking from the issue is about most of the students who graduate from art and design, we are encourage the student to have their own portfolio, to present the identity of them. That's commonly we ask our students who be the lecturer. So we always ask our students to have their own portfolio. So the students have to portray their identity across the design of their e-portfolio or their portfolio. So the look and feel of their portfolio should be very attractive, easy to understand by others people, because interface design also have a principle of that. One of the principle is about easy to understand, easy to use, so easy to receive, or the audience, when he look into the design, he must understand clearly, not confusing when it look into the looks of the appearance and get the feeling well. So these students just study the frameworks of the interface design, how to prepare the look and feel for effective e-portfolio. And another one is about empirical study on mobile e-learning application, the look and feel on the mobile appearance, where currently students from primary school, secondary school, tertiary school, they are so familiar, they are so love working with the mobile phone. So Alhamdulillah, with the pandemic, everybody can use mobile for their e-learning. As previously, we are most of people are debates about effectiveness of e-learning through mobile. Now we can see the result of that. Either we are effectively use e-mobile towards our learning activities. So my student was studying the performance of the interface design on mobile e-learning application, and we measure through the student achievement. So this is the sample that I can share, the simulation. This is my PhD study, how I study on the interactive courseware. If you look into the design, don't give any comment. This is what the designers did during that time, 10 years ago, where you can easily understand how they understand the philosophy of design, how they use the principle of design, how they understand element, how they combine the element and principle towards the whole composition. So this is what I study more detail, understand how students interact or engage with the courseware. Most of the students are not really happy with the look and feel of the courseware, but we give them pushing them to accept it. This is the courseware that you have to use without understand
I
the
remember
user,
that. So
without we understanding
we
more.
don't think, yeah,
Yes,
betul. Agree
that's
with
the
that.
big mistake. So don't blame why this project not successful, because we do not really understand our students. We are not really understand our user. If we bring back into the previous the past diagram that I show with you, the big diagram on the visual communication grassland, whatever we design under the roof of visual communication product, we have to ensure our audience or our end user really get what they're looking for, really get what we try to tell them, what we try to present to them. So the first thing about, we have to understand them before we begin any design, because they just understand something or they receive information through visual, through text, through element of design, through photograph, or through science. So this is the study where I really loved completely this one. And this is the publication that I managed to publish from the study. How bad the design. I'm not complaining on the design, but I did conducting intensive or investigating, empirically analyze on every single element that they have or they put in the whole composition of the look and feel of the causeway during that time. Okay, so this is the study that I share with you just now from the non-creative core. Non-creative course is did by, of course, non-creative people. Just imagine from mathematics, accountancy, law, the lecturer in the area of that, designing their material. So what we can expect, they design the material and how struggle they to ensuring their students will motivate to be focused on the courseware. Just imagine for 3-hour session to focus every single minute, every single second with this look and feel of courseware. And this is the analysis done by the student and also the publication managed to publish by the students. This is the research based on community, interface design research, but based on community. I did so many research as well. So we can see from most of that is on museum studies and also on packaging design, promotional item, architecture, yes, museum, packaging, promotional, architecture. So what I can share with you, in the area of interface design, you can open up. So try to explore more by just one field of study. You have to be creative to expand your study, to explore another field of study that you can bring into your interest. So this is what I can share based on the community. One of the study that I conduct in Japan, Kyushu Island, by just looking from nature look and feel, how the interface design of Kyushu by nature. So the interesting about Kyushu is divided into how many states? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 states. Saga, Fukuoka, Ota, Miyazaki, Fukushima, Nagasaki. So the interesting part of this Kyushu by look and feel, each part of the Kyushu or of the state is different by nature. For example, Miyazaki, there are so many river spots in this state. If you go to Oita, you can find so many hot springs. So different if you are comparing to Nagasaki is the state of historical, and Saga famous with seafood. So it look like something that not possible to study from the area of interface design, but I managed to do that. And while I went to Kushu Island, I found there are so many things to study from the view of interface design. Instead of looking from the nature of the nature, so I also conduct a research looking Kushu from train design. So interestingly, I discovered each state have different design of train. The look and feel of the train, you can see here. If you want to go to Nagasaki, Nagasaki is a historical state. So the train to Nagasaki, named Bosch, the appearance and the interior design of the train is totally different compared to the other state. When you enter the train, you can see the seat, the ambience, the material, all come from 60s. So you can get the feeling as you be in the 16 years, in the 16th centuries. You forgot that you are now in the millennial era. How Japanese bring the look and feel of historical by the train. So if you go to Fukuoka, it's a modern state, then you can use Shinkansen 800 series, the modern design of the train. If you want go to Oita to look on the hot spring, then you can take ASSOC Boy train, known as a panorama train. The appearance of the train, the front look of the train is also different compared to the resort train you feel Nomoru. So this is bring me something that really interesting to study more. So I am now moving forward from this study into automotive design. How the look and feel of train influence people here in this world to understand culture. So I hope it will give you inspiration. From basic understanding of interface design, you can explore in terms of community. In community, there are so many things to explore. So, it depends on you how creatively you put your area of study into the society or into the community through the understanding of your field of study. So this study also bring me to look into more detail on the tram in Kushu. So they are also have different kind of tram. Here in Malaysia, you will never get that. We have same design of train, MRT or LRT. So we are confusing. We are going to Kajang or we are going to Seremban because it looks similar. So we always miss our train. So but in Kushu, how they design their transport, either tram or train just now, portraying the state identity. Okay, and I also conduct a research on museum exhibition look and feel from different concept, themes, and content. So I went to 7 museum at 7 states. This is an example where I went to Kyushu National Museum, Nagasaki Museum, where atomic bomb, which is Nagasaki is a historical state like Laka. Kumamoto City Museum. Kumamoto is more on nature, like in here in Malaysia we do have Kedah, paddy field. There are so many plantation and also very nice view to see nature in Kumamoto. So the appearance, each of the exhibition at each of the museum are different. So you can differentiate each of the museum through the presentation of the exhibition at the museum. So it's totally different. Okay, and this is a simulation of my research on interdisciplinary research towards interface design. I can share you with 3 different kind of interdisciplinary research where I conduct with scientists. Me and my friends from art and design, we collaborate with pharmacists, we collaborate with forestry, we collaborate with applied scientists, engineers. So the first study is on how interface design approach can be used to help Malaysian National Park in positioning their image branding. The second one is about exploration on the possibility of encyclopedia to be artcyclopedia for school children. Commonly, when we talk about encyclopedia, it's just wrote by scientists. But this research, we explore the potential of art to be combined with science. Then we come up with one artcyclopedia with a very good look and feel. And the third one is about how interface design effective on 3D visualization software. But this research from architecture view. So we see this study. This is the study on the promoting destination image brand. We went to Taman Negara Pahang to work together with forestry, applied scientists, and also, if I'm not mistaken, computer science lecturer. So we work together with them to do a research on illumination for the corporate brand of National Park. This is a case study. So we're moving forward after this to conduct a similar research to others national park in Malaysia. So we concerning numbers of nature plant here in Malaysia. There are so many studies conducted by the scientists. But most of the people in the area of art, they are focusing more on the experimental study, such as find colors from nature, patterns from nature. But in this study, we study both visual studies combined with biological study. So this is the beauty how when we work with scientists, like people say when arts meeting scientists, artists meeting scientists. So macam ayam jumpa itik, yeah. But alhamdulillah we manage that. we use our strength. We are in the area of art and design. We do have fine arts, photography, graphic design, textile, ceramic, fashion, industrial design, what else? Jewelry, and etc. So combine all those art and design area of study. So we do conduct documenting the, the nature plant through digital photography tools. So come along with me, my beloved friend from photography department. So we do capturing so many plants. So we bring back to labs with more than 1,000 images. Then we ask fine artists to visualize the images or the plant that we bring back through line drawing, where they use their strength to do sketches on that. We call it process as an image construction. Then we go forward to next step, where we call it image segmentation, when we give to graphic artists to do a visual color analysis and also a pattern modeling that we can extract from line drawing and photography images. Then we do into the application of that. So these activities or the stages of development, we call it as a qualitative colors and pattern analysis, in order to come out with the illumination of images that we can use for the corporate brand of Taman Negara Pahang identity. So we managed to secure innovation, competition, silver award, and also this project is already registered intellectual properties and published one paper. This is the study on how, when we combine graphic, photography, ceramic into one study under the umbrella of art and design, but we combine visual communication and 3D design, but focusing on the look and feel, how we bring some strength of people work together into one research activity, so we can come out with something that more interesting. So from the study as well, we apply from the first study just now, we apply into another study. So currently we are in the development of, by using the colors and pattern that we discover in the first study, so we bring the study further into another tangible product. So we are testing the colors, the pattern into the tangible product, such as ceramic and also textile. So this is what I call, from one simple study or one simple area of study that interests you, you can explore other people's expertise and ask them to combine and to collaborate with you, so that you can explore more and expand your area of study by doing interdisciplinary study. So from that also, we also do the art encyclopedia. Just now I explained. So this is the simulation of that. As we understand, in area of art and design, we do have our specific method. They call it nature journaling and field sketching. But most of people in area of art and design avoid or not really using this method. So it's something I feel so sad, because this is the strength of us. Everybody in the area of art and design have a potential or have a skill to draw. We should love doing drawing. So use your a good skill or your strength to do a research. So by using this, I bring fine artists to come together in my group to do an exploration of Artsclopedia activities. Then we work together with scientists, where the scientists study in detail on each particular species that we get from nature, that we bring back from Taman Negara. Then they put under a microscope and telling the visual artist how it's look. So the visual artist or the fine art will visualize that into the simple sketches. So this is how the field sketching or natural generalist sketching method should be applied. So then we bring all those the images, the sketches, the visual that we gather from the scientists from the microscope. Then we combine into one composition where we prepare for the Artsclopedia. This is the look and feel of the Artsclopedia. It's not published yet, but it's already copyright and patented by us. This is what, if I can share with you. So we can prepare something that not just only for designers, but also for scientists. So the interesting about this Artsclopedia, it's going to be used by both the students from art and design and also from science field. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, with that, I think this is enough for today. We are pushing 1 hour, 70 minutes or more. Thank you very much for listening me.
So thank you for the insightful on interface design grassland, from design, visual design, product to HCI, computer interaction, IT, science, art and science. So thank you for sharing that. Sharing that it can open up, any research can be opened up into different kind of bang or route. It depends on the person punya interest juga. So I like to open this floor to anybody in this session. If you like to, if you have any question about interface design or what's the future of interface design? What itching question that you want to know? Please ask the question, and we can have Professor Dr. Fadilah to give her insightful knowledge into that. Let me see. So yeah, any questions? Siapa-siapa ada soalan nak tanya pasal interface design, visual communication, grassland? Am I lagging? Sorry.
I hope this sharing session will motivate others people for looking interest of study. Somehow, for those who just begin to start their research, they fail to find what area she or he should start or should begin. So that's happened to me during my time as well. So what I can advise is back to your roots. Back to your root, understand your roots. When you understand your root clearly, then you can explore more. Like beginner research is not just for today. When you get involved into research, make sure it will lasting. It will bring you forever. Move forward from one step to one step. That's what I would advise for those who just begin into research. Because I begin with interface design, just looking in the area of education. If just let me share with you, it happened to me when there are many people come to me when I did my PhD and ask me why I choose interface design and taking interactive courseware as a case study. During that time, I do have any answer. I just said, I do love interface design because previously when I worked as a designer, I preparing interface design for the interactive courseware. I work with programmers, I work with instructional designers. So I do love that. But when I complete my PhD, and the journey of my PhD is teaching me on, it's not talking about the PhD that I received. The area of study that you decide at the early stage of your research. So be careful when you decide to choose any area of study, because when you complete the study, of course you have another future plan. So how can you further up your area of study to begin to something new, to explore new? So make sure the decision, the first decision, when you decide on the day one of the study, make sure after 10 years, after 7 years, after 20 years, after or more than 30 years, you can explore more, you can expand. As an academician, of course, you have to expand. I'm not speak from others' perspective or others' background. If you are in the area of academic, then that's most important, because with your interest, it will give you to many things. The reason I choose interface is about, the first thing is about I love it. I love interface design. When I did the research in the area of interface for 3 years, that period of time giving me many opportunities. During that time when I speak, I always speak to people in the area of IT, because interface design are more popular in IT, not really popular in art and design during that time. So that opportunity giving me a big door to explore more. You just imagine my first paper being cited more than 120 citation. on the framework of interface design towards education. I'm talking about aesthetic value. So it bring me inspiration, a big inspiration. So, kita rasa macam, oh, seronoknya kan? Macam, just imagine,
Yes.
student first year PhD, orang cited paper you 120. So you rasa macam, bestnya. So that feeling you should have. That's why I keep reminding my students, particularly for those who taking PhD, please decide your area of study carefully, because when you graduate, it gives you 1 point to move to expand. You have to bring yourself by yourself. You have to work solely at the beginning of the stage. How to make a very big networking. So it requires you a very hard work. So make sure that networking really supporting you. The networking that you build up across your area of study. So that's the reason when I graduated, I start to understand more interface design across education. It will take me 7 years. When I have a very good networking, then I move into museum study. So I am suffering in the area of museum study because I am a new baby in the area of museum study, but bringing interface design into museum study, I be a center of reference. Even though in the museum study area, I'm a new baby, but bring it your area of study into their study, their field. So they are referring you more when they can see the significance of your study into their field of study. So that's hard to do that. Okay? I'm open
Thank you,
to
Prof. I think there's a question here from Dr. Sarina. What was the recommendation for the interface design for your courseware research?
Okay. For my courseware research, that's my PhD research, the recommendation is, one of the recommendation is about understand user. Everybody can design your courseware. Everybody can be a producer for the courseware, but not everybody have a clear understanding on user. That's the most challenge that you have to understand before you begin any design, before you establish or you promoting any courseware design.
So another question is, yes. Somebody ada mention tadi? Tak perasan. Okay, I'm going to read the question in the chat room, or let Dr. Sarina, do you want to ask the question? So okay, I read from the chat room and then we'll open to the people. Okay, how has the KPM courseware evolved today? Has it improved? Has KPM taken the recommendations?
Unfortunately, when I submitted the reports to KPM, and I've been called to be one of the board for this courseware, the improvement development of the courseware. So due to some reason, the courseware has been stopped of the production because they admit from this the finding of my research. So they are moving into something else, where most of the books nowadays are being ebook, and also KPM encourage most of the teachers to attend the training on preparing their teaching material. So that's my contribution to help the teachers. But we do not have training to all teachers in some subject only. So I've been involved in training them, teaching them to understand the principle, the elements, and understand the requirement of their students before they begin to design their teaching and learning material. So we are focusing on we call it sekolah cluster. Sekolah cluster. There are so many aliran kan? Sekolah cluster.
Sekarang, ya.
Macam aliran tu KPM not focusing on aliran perdana tu yang sekolah biasa. We are focusing on sekolah cluster, sekolah yang medium tu not boarding school, cluster tu lah.
Cluster schools.
Cluster school. Cluster school dia macam kalau UPSR tu yang 3A, 4A kan boleh masuk. Dia not excellent student, not excellent, medium student. They are allowed to enter the cluster.
From your perspective kan, how have interface design evolved? Because sekarang ni, like you said, we have for IR, and then interface design, I think the evolve into application design. So what do you think? What's your recommendation on that part? What's your thoughts on that?
Like I said just now, when you referring to visual comm, there are three things supporting visual comm: interaction design, information design, interface design. In order to understand interface design well, you also have to understand information design and interaction design, because these three combination of design have one main objective: to fulfill or to make sure our audience or our end user satisfied. They get the real experience. So interface design is just a appearance, something that you can apply. If you understand the philosophy of interface design, you can easily apply in what technology, because technology is referring to media. Previously, we are focusing on printed media. So that's why if you're looking back into my diagram just now, there are three layers. Visual communication, where I give a component of visual communication is cover as an umbrella for photography, graphic design, and that contain images, text, and etc. But there are another three elements supporting this, which is interaction design, interface design, and information design. Then we move forward to the decision on channel or medium. It depends on us. Are you interested to choose printed, or you more prefer interactive? So that's technology come across on interactive media. That's why if you're looking from the history of new media, it's come from media, multimedia, new media, interactive media. So that's the history. That's another story of that. But all those towards all those towards learning experience. So that's why the grassland, you have to understand the grassland. The root of visual comm, you have to understand clearly. That's why when we enter any university, school of design, we've been exposed to the root of visual comm. We are not being exposed to the interface design, information design, interaction design, or even instructional design. No, we are being exposed or introducing to the root of visual com, because historically the basic of the fundamental is visual com. The rest is about how moving, the historical moving from A to Z, how visual com move forward towards technology. So that's why, looking back, even though I'm taking interface design as my area of study, my interest, but I have to clearly understand what is the root of that. So the grassland of interface design is visual com. So we have to understand the role of interface design towards visual com. We have to understand information design towards visual com. That's my answer. I hope that's give a clear picture on what is visual com, how it's connecting to information design, interaction design, interface design. So most of the school of visual com as well have to look into this interconnecting as well, so that we can move clearly to enhance our content, to enhance our graduates. Because if the fundamental is not good enough, so when you move forward for the postgraduate study, particularly, so you are in the trouble because you are not have a very good roots of understanding towards visual com as well. So to me, that's most important.
Okay.
It's,
Great.
I
I think
answering
that's really informative.
I love
So,
hear any potential research to collaborate with me. Just contact me through my Facebook or Instagram or my phone or my email. I believe there are so many potential research to have among us. Doesn't matter from arts or design or science or psychology or education, law, business, or anything else.
okay. Thank you, Professor Fadilah. It's very informative content that you shared on interface design today. Now that is 4:30. I'm just opening up. If I'm lagging, can somebody just take it from me? If there's no more question, I'd like everybody to go to the link in the chat room and just add your information there for today's session. And yeah, we can end this session at 4:30. If there's nobody want to ask any question, you can drop us an email if you suddenly have a question when we end this session, this ResearchIN for today. All right. Thank you, Professor Fadilah and Dr. Sarina. Professor Sarina. Yeah.
Say thank you, Associate Prof. Dr. NORFADILAH, for being with us this afternoon for a very lengthy session. So I, in a way, Associate Prof. Dr. Fadilah also has basically explained or shared her own research experience or research journey from her candidature until today. So I think that is very beneficial to all researchers out there, the early career researchers especially. So I would like to, to convey my thanks to Professor NORFADILAH, and also for for Dr. Nurul Hanim today for moderating the session. So those who are here, please log in to your Facebook. It's ArtsUSM Facebook. So please like and share our session today so that you can share this session, or as a maybe, you know, like if you need a follow up, or you want to sort of like, you know, hear again or listen back to the presentation, please like and share the live streaming on your Facebook, on your own Facebook. Okay. Thank you very much. Please make sure that you register on the registration link. Thank you. Until the next ResearchIN session next month, we will let you know through our events page on ASSOC Facebook. Thank you. Terima kasih Dr. NORFADILAH. Terima kasih Dr. Hanim.
Thank you, Professor
Take care,
Sarina.
everyone.
Thank you,
Stay
Prof.
safe.
Okay, take care.